Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my chaotic mess of a studio on this Thursday morning. Hope everybody's doing well. If you got your coffee or your tea or whatever you need to get your day going. I definitely need all the coffee I can get. Okay, I'm excited because today we're hopefully going to wrap her up. We're going to do her clown makeup, which should be fun. And that's going to primarily be the thing. So I'm really excited about that because we've been working on this all month. We've gotten it to a pretty good start. I just started a little bit with the makeup last week and we are, I think, good to go. So that will be fun. And hopefully it will go well and turn out great. We'll see, of course, you never know. We can just do our best and hope for the best. But in the meantime, let's maybe take a couple breaths, get centered about what we're doing. Something I forget to do throughout my entire days. Sometimes you just come to after hours of chaos and you're like, did I ever breathe? I mean, obviously you do because you're still alive, but just like shallow breaths all day long. Just go, go, go. Survival mode. Oh yeah, a couple good little grounding breaths in a moment. Excuse me. Some allergies going on. It's just been damp and cool. All right. Oh, and quick announcement that I will not be streaming next week. So that is Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. I don't stream on Tuesdays. You get this coming Monday and Thursday. I will actually not be streaming. I'll post a note as well. But I will be out of town. I'm going up north into northern Wisconsin for a little bit, and it's just going to be kind of like a little bit of a disconnect from working and doing everything. So just a little mini mental break. I usually do this. It's like a little small mini family thing that we do in like November or late October most years, and it's just nice because it's just nothing. It's just being. It's great. Anyway, a little more coffee. And in case you don't know, I'm Lynell Ingram. Paint Fumes is my art channel. Here I work on live streams twice a week, working on art and chatting and blathering on about things that I find interesting in life and things that I learn about state of mind. And, oh, I cannot open it. Oh, there, I got it. Okay. And yeah, and I occasionally post some videos. I'm a little behind on posting regular just video videos because I've had a lot going on in other areas. I'm redoing my website, got some other things that I'm rolling out in the next couple days. So it's been busy, but we'll get back onto that too. So there'll be a few more regular videos coming as well, besides the live streams, which again, twice a week, Monday evenings and Thursday mornings. And because I'm doing her makeup today, natural segue, I usually had been using my slow dry medium, working on everything else, because I kind of wanted to have a moment to do some blending and working with the paint. But today, I don't necessarily need to do blending on the canvas, but I might want to have some glazes. So I got out this very old jar of my matte, there's the camera. It's a fluid matte medium, golden. I've had this a really long time and I wasn't sure how good it is. And I can tell you what, it sure isn't fluid anymore. It's like just like a gel. But that's fine because I want to be able to do some glazes in some areas. So I'm going to put some of this on my canvas, and I do have several other mediums for mixing. But they're all gloss gels. I have a couple different gloss gels and a couple different ones that are for slowing the dry time. I mean, there's all kinds. Working with acrylics can be very interesting in that way. But yeah, this is a low gloss acrylic extender and primer. So that should allow us to do some some glazes where it's not. And when I say glazes, what I mean, I'm going to zoom out so you can see as I build my palette here. Nope, that's in. Okay, there we go. Sorry for the chaotic mess. This just is, I got a small space. A lot happens in here. So I don't have like a dedicated backdrop or anything. I apologize for that. Jim, hello. Hello, hello. Good morning. Good to see you today. When I talk about doing glazes, I'm talking about basically doing a transparent paint on here. Something where I can take the color and add it, but you'll still see the background through it, a little transparency. And the advantage to using a medium to kind of thin the pigment in the paint versus using water is it goes on better. Like you have more control over your stroke and how like stable it is. Like I can make a brush stroke and it will be very consistently a certain level of being transparent, whereas if I use water, it's not consistent, and it can also, I've learned, affect the chemical components of the paint. So using water mixing with acrylic paint can actually have some unintended consequences. So that is something to keep in mind if you ever work with acrylic paints. They're really quite interesting, and I like them quite a lot. They're definitely different. I think a lot of people have in mind that they're kind of like a beginner's paint because it's what you usually often learn from when you take art classes. I mean, outside of the tempuras when you're a little kid, but like in art in high school or whatever, you're probably working with acrylic paint. And there's good reasons for that. It dries fast, so that's conducive to working in classroom times. And also, it's it's non-toxic. Like, don't eat it, but you don't have to worry about fumes or handling it or anything along those lines. So there's advantage. That's those reasons being a large part of why it would be used in classrooms, but it's very stable because it basically dries into kind of like a plastic, right? It's very, very stable to work with, and yeah, it's not toxic. You don't have to worry about ventilation and fumes and how to take care of the materials you use, how to safely dispose of things. That's a whole different ballgame that we don't really have a concern with here. And that's something that I've had to learn when I've played around with working with oils. Okay, so I'm building up. I've got the red tone and the yellow oxide. I have naphthol red and yellow oxide so far, and I want... Right now, all my paints are just like all over the table over here. It's just chaos. I'm gonna go nuts here because I've used a very limited palette on doing everything that's on here. It was almost like my version of a Zorn palette, which is white. I used Payne's Gray as the cool black color, and then I had my red and my yellow oxide. So almost all of this is done primarily with that. There was a little orange in the background, and in some parts of a little bit of the hair, I'd also use some cadmium yellow, and I think at some early stages of the skin, I also was using some cobalt blue a little bit, but by and large, it's been pretty limited. But now we're gonna go crazy, and we're throwing in some aqua green. All right, a little bit of that, not too much. Everything I'm doing is going to be like, you know, if it's glazes in small areas, it doesn't need to be a ton of paint. So, okay, let me think. What else might we want? Maybe a little purple. And I'm definitely going to want my Payne's Gray out again too. Okay. So we're going a little bit more colorful with the makeup. Where's my Payne's Gray? Yeah, I got this. Trying to use up this tube. I got it all scrunched up because it's like, you know, using the last of your toothpaste. You're just like, come on, get out of there. So I have a almost brand new tube but we're using this one up. Ooh, making eggs. It's good breakfast. I have a very standardized breakfast. I just get into like, this is what I do for a few years. I do the same thing. I tend to be, that's the one part of my life that I'm very like regimented in, and absolutely nothing else. I can't stick to a routine to save my life. But bran flakes, store brand organic bran flakes with flax seeds, some cinnamon, and a tiny bit of local honey because that helps with my allergies. Just pro tip in case anybody struggles with the allergies, seasonal stuff. And that, and usually I throw blueberries on there, but as of like the last month, that hasn't been possible. There just aren't blueberries around after years of doing that. I'm very sad, but yeah, that plus soy milk. I use soy milk. Yeah, that's my breakfast every day. Egg tacos, even better. Talk about winning. Anything in taco form is winning. Okay, let's see. Where shall we start? I think my first inclination is to go with the lips, but it actually would be probably smarter if I worked a little bit more like top down. So maybe starting around the eyes. And I think, and I'm gonna do, you know what? I'm gonna do a little bit of like a coloration around the eyes, and then I'll add the stronger makeup on once that's dry, like the shapes. But I'm also gonna add like a hue, like a blush almost. So I'm going to take some of my red, just using my cheapo plastic palette knife here, and I'm gonna mix it with a good hunk of my supposedly fluid medium. It's not fluid at all at the moment. Okay, so we can get a nice glaze of that. And then on the eyes, I might use a little bit of this, but I'm also going to use, okay, clean that knife. I really need to clean that rag up. Then I'm going to do a little bit of purple at this point also. So I'll take some more my medium, a bit of the purple, get that good and mixed in there. We'll see how that is, if that's transparent enough once it goes on, if I can get thin enough layers. Okay. Brushes. I need a good round brush for doing some just, yeah, nice fat one. For just, I'm kind of like gonna work in and blend in some of these tones. Okay. Ah, bristle just broke on me. What's up with that? I've not had that happen. This has been a pretty good brush. I tried to take good care of my brushes. I've learned my lessons. That's the thing with acrylic paint. You have to take care of your brushes, because if you let the paint dry on there, like I mentioned before, it's virtually like a plastic once it dries. There's not much bringing it back if you have that happen with your brushes, if they just dry. This might be a little bit too light toned purple, but we're gonna add a little bit of that on her eyes, around her eyes. That's a very light. I might decide to use a different purple here, because this is one that probably has some white in it. Let me look. You tell me what pigments you have? No. Okay, well, I don't know. Dioxazine purple, that's my color. It's very, very dark. Like, I can use that instead of my Payne's gray in certain paintings if I want for my really dark tone, my black tone, if you will. But so it can be nearly black if you put it on thick, but it can give you a really nice purple tone, purple value, not tone. The other one was more of a tone of it. And I think rather it not be so toned, because I don't want it to change the nature of my shadows. I just want to be able to tint my shadows, essentially. And I mean, I'll put it over here, although it's going to be really, it's in so much shade there that it's going to be a very, very subtle thing. It's over there at all. It goes on very, very, very transparent. So I can just sort of build up how much color I want, how much I want it to cover what's there. Otherwise, excuse me, oh my goodness, hiccups. Maybe I drank my coffee a little too fast. Okay, and that's gonna kind of bleed into what I'm gonna do for here. Some of this red, I'm using just my red. There's a little bit of the purple on the brush, so they're kind of gonna blend together a little. And we're going to add in the like rouge, the blush. And again, this is something that I can build up as saturated as I might want it. I can just kind of work with it. And kind of can adjust the shape and opacity of it, deciding where I want it to be really intense. And I think the closer to the eye, the more intense I would like it. And then it can kind of fade out from there. Then you see when I painted over the shadowy area, the darker area here, that area doesn't just become my red tone, it just picks up a little bit of that instead of just painting it on full opacity. And I might have to go back in and add or adjust a few of the details, which is fine. I'm going to grab a smaller brush to get in the shape here. Always rinse out your brushes when you're going to set it down for a bit, so you don't dry them into a plastic smudge of bristles. That's never what we want. And I am going to go back and add in, just because I don't think it was that strong enough to begin with, some of the shadowy area here, and spots some little details that I don't want to get too lost. So I'm just taking a little bit of my Daxine purple because it's in that area. So my Payne's gray. And maybe I will do like a purple drawing of her eyebrow too. Perhaps. But again, I'll want a smaller brush for that, for sure. I'm going to zoom back in a little bit so you can get a better view on what we're doing. Okay, and just a little bit more. My red coming in here too. And just because I might be starting to lose a little bit of the shadow from the hair, pull that back. Sometimes doing this just shows you where you need more anything. Okay, so smaller brush yet. And let's add in some like good clean eyebrows over where I've kind of marked in where hers are. All right. I'm going to add, I did not put any white on my palette, but I am going to add a little bit because there are going to be spots where I want to kind of have there be a highlight coming through where I need it. So just a wee bit. Some titanium white. That probably gets a little too light. Okay. I'm also going to add some orange. I want to adjust the tone here a little bit. I might get a little... Oh, come on. Hate these caps. As my palette becomes a crazy mess. I might need a little... I might decide I want a little of burnt sienna there too. I'm not sure yet. Let's just see what we can pull together. It's just a little pinker than I wanted it to be, so I'm gonna try to... Oh, that did not help. Oh, yeah, not quite there. One thing, this medium I'm using, I think because it seems to be rather old, it's tacky. It's very tacky. And that's kind of an unexpected thing. So I think what we're going to do Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Suddenly, this brush has decided to start losing some bristles, and I'm quite distressed about this. I'm not happy at all. Okay. Just having done that, I want to adjust some of the highlight on the nose then to kind of not be so much different. All right. That's tying things together a little better. Let's see. All right. Like that, I think. Right. All right, I'm starting to kind of like what's happening here. How about that? Now I'm getting into some other things here, just kind of cleaning up an edge along her face that wasn't the right value. Although it would definitely be better if I were using a bigger brush for that. But started out as working on adjustments for the lips. Okay. I am making things worse. Alright, quick moment to make this adjustment. Too wet. You go to fix one thing and you throw everything else off. It's very annoying when that happens, but it is a thing that happens. Just gonna... Okay. We might have that saved. Disaster averted. But yeah, making one adjustment can really have unexpected effects on everything that it touches sometimes, so you gotta always, you know, step back and check what you're doing. Okay, there's a weird little mark there that is becoming apparent that I would like to see if I can make that kind of disappear a little bit. I think it just needs perhaps a broader stroke, brush stroke, probably. Smooth this out a little bit, her upper lip. It's better. Let's see. Okay, I'm good with that for now. All right, we can move ahead a little bit, I think. I say that and then I fuss around with more things. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm almost done fussing. And that is the real danger with all of this, is the endless fuss. Okay. So all of this is pretty dry, like ever so slightly tacky, ever so very slightly. So I think it's okay to go ahead and start working on that area a little bit. I actually need a little bit more of my dark purple. I used all that up. And I used up all my white, but I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm probably gonna need a little bit of that too. I'm trying not to put too much paint on my palette, because I don't want to waste what I'm not gonna use. But usually I miscalculate which things I put a little bit more of, which things I put a little bit less of. That's just how it goes. I mean, the more you do, the better you get at judging, but I'm also not the best planner in the world. I have a very real thing of switching around and following how I feel about something as I'm doing it, kind of letting that guide me more than anything else. So I got a smaller, what is this, maybe a number 6 round brush. That's what I grabbed just now, because I'm going to, first of all, I'm losing... I tried to add it back in a little bit, but I didn't quite get it. She's got, you know, as we do, some slightly stronger shadows, curves, folds, and shadows under the eye. And I don't want to lose that so much. Okay, even just adding that helped. Guys, I'm really not feeling this medium that I'm using. I think I made a mistake putting that in. I mean, it doesn't make it so I can't work, but it isn't good. It's just everything's tackier than I want it to be, for sure, at this stage of the game. Like, yeah, the paint gets tacky after a while when you're painting, but too much too fast. Okay. Someplace I have just a white charcoal pencil. I just want to block in for myself where I'm going to draw in some of the kind of Harlequin style line on her face. That should start at the center of the eye if she were looking forward, how that would go, following the curve and contours of her face. And then just probably barely see that over here. And I think we're going to take it down close to the lips. And I'm going to give her a smile, a clowny kind of smile, maybe like that. Let me see. You probably can't see that line that I just drew very well. Like that. right, fingers crossed that that will work. All right, as long as I'm at a pause where I'm doing that, good opportunity to grab a little bit more coffee because, you know, parties. I'm excited though, because we're definitely on task to finish her. And I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. Once I've finished her today, at some point I'll probably go back and make some minor tweaks of broader things that would be very boring to watch on stream. And then of course, I always do the varnish finishing layer, a finishing like a medium layer and then the varnish layer. And the reason to do that in the case of acrylics is a little less for protection than it would be for oil. What it will do is different tones, different pigments have different levels of sheen to them. So there can be areas that grab more light than others. And so I will give it one probably gloss coating to kind of pop the colors, and then I'll add the varnish. So it'll pop the colors and make everything equally glossy or shiny. So no one area sticks out in particular. So that is what will happen off stream once all of this is basically done. So let's go here. We're gonna go straight up dark on this part. And I'm not using any medium because this is gonna be primarily like a solid line of makeup instead of a glaze. Am I casting any shadow while I'm doing this? A little bit. Let's see if this helps. Sorry, I tried to not be in front of the camera while I'm doing this too. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Okay, there. Good. Yeah, sorry. I feel like it needs to be a little wider, at least at the top. that I should have done first. The advantage to having drawn my guidelines with charcoal, or even possibly using a pastel pencil would work too, is that I don't cover that up specifically with a paint. It just a little damp water or a rag, and it'll go. It will be gone. I think I like that. Now I'm thinking that the eyebrows should have been black instead of purple, maybe. I'm gonna take a couple more looks at it and see what we think. And as long as we're here at this point in the painting, I would like to do the ask. If you're watching, if you enjoy this, please like. If you're just finding my video here, you can go back all the way to the beginning of starting this. I think this is the 7-session painting, all done live. And of course, subscribe and get notifications of when I'm going live. I go live twice a week, doing all these different types of paintings. I work in sometimes mixed media, watercolor and mixed media. Sometimes it's larger scale, sometimes it's just on paper, but I do a lot of different things. And we just hang out, we can co-work, or so you can work on your own projects while just being here, chat about things, chat about creativity, chat about art, chat about life, chat about, you know, our mindsets when we're working. Often I've been a little quieter this stream. I guess I've been a little focused on what I'm doing here, more or less. But it's just an opportunity to hang out and get arty. Creative time to get the week started, or the day, or the week is when we start the week. I mean, when I do my Monday streams. If that makes sense. And then also a reminder that next week will be a week off for me. I will not be streaming next week specifically, but I do make it an effort to not miss many times, unless there's something that can't be avoided, but I will be literally out of the state, so that will make it very hard. And I don't know that I would have a good enough internet connection where I will be even to try it, but I will be back. I'll be back after time change, after we have our, what do you call it? We fall back for fall. That's coming up here. So the week after that week, when we have the weekend, which is coming up so fast. I can't believe it's almost November. Just crazy, guys. How do we get here so fast? All right, I'm going to do one more kind of flourish off of the eye here, but in purple. I'm going to tie together the purple colors I've been using. Daylight savings ends. Yes, thank you. I could not come up with daylight savings to save my life. Every now and again, something just escapes. Ah, very frustrating. Probably, if you watch me on here very often, you know I lose words a lot. Just sometimes recall can be very iffy. is something that's very frustrating, but is just something that I've also just learned to forgive myself of, because it just happens. It happens a lot, and it just is what it is. It's part of for me, that's part of my ADHD. And it's okay. Okay. Adding the purple here makes this make sense. And I like that. I'm not worried about adding anything else over on this side because it's basically covered with all the shading and the shadow, and there's so little of it that we see. I think that might be it. The only other thing I thought about doing was adding like the little line here, like with a cheek smile, like the little cartoony smile line, but I'll just add a little bit more of the purple from the eyelid coming down over here, coming out into the pink of the cheek so it's not so disconnected. And then I'm going to touch up the hair strand here a tiny bit. Lost a little bit of that. My hands are a mess. I've been getting really into it in that manner today. Which, it's all good. I never used any of the... I didn't use the teal yet. And I think I'm still going to touch it in here. After I touch up the shadow hair. The shadow from the hair. As I literally said, I'm going to touch up the shadow a hair when it's the shadow, but it's also painting the shadow of the hair. So funny. Okay. right. I think that might be it. It's possible at some point I'd go back and do a little bit more with the hair, maybe, but I think we basically got it. I used my teal to kind of create some few reflective shadows here and there, essentially, and just a few little pops of contrast. Yeah, that's kind of the only thing. Now that I'm looking at it, the hair looks a little flat compared to everything else, but I think we're gonna stop here. Like I said, I'll probably do some tweaking and maybe adjust some details in like the hair or something, but this is our clown. Let's zoom in a little bit. Get a little bit closer look. And there we go. Yep. Like I said, there's things that I could continue to adjust and fuss around with forever and ever, probably, but this is gonna basically be it. And which means that when I come back after a week off, I'm gonna have to start something entirely new. And what that will be, I don't know yet. I've got 2 weeks figured out. But yes, we will definitely have something new when I come back to work on. And yeah, something different for sure. This, I kind of painted this in a manner that more of a way that I used to work, which is kind of interesting to go back and revisit. A lot of what I do these days is much looser, and I kind of really got caught into fussing a lot and details and things, and probably overworking some things more than I would prefer to, but I think overall I'm mostly happy with this piece, and it was fun to work on and got us doing something sufficiently dark for October and leading up to Halloween. So thank you for hanging out and joining me while I worked on this piece, and I hope everybody has an incredible weekend and Halloween, because I will miss you on Halloween, and all of the fun things before we get to November. So soon. Anyway, thank you so much, and I hope to see you here in a week and a half on my next stream. Bye and take care.